Theo
was the one that was in love with Homeboy, right?
What?
Theo was, of course, born.
Mm-mm. You're thinking of Laura.
Theo was, of course, born from the love that was shared between Eamos and his sister Lura.
I knew it.
I mean, Homeboy was Eamos.
My eyes are so big right now, and I'm just gonna tell her.
I
Yeah,
wonder what may have happened to her now.
We know. We know.
You do?
We're not gonna keep secrets. we know. We know.
Has she met the same unpleasant fate as...
ooh, that static's really bad.
Can't let that one go.
Oh wait, it stopped. Yeah.
Is your phone by your computer?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
That'd be a good thought.
Phones don't really do that no more.
I know, but I mean,
As-
just in case.
Has she met the same unpleasant fate as myself?
She has not. We actually
Prevented
saved
that.
her from Inniset Tower recently.
Well, recently, a couple months ago.
Oh, all right. That's true. God, I forget that we spent
Yeah.
like a month there.
Though I will be unable to share a conversation with her, I am, of course, happy to hear that she is alive.
She's alive for now.
She
I
is.
understand there's a great deal of complication in her lineage.
No, she's on the run. She's a fugitive.
From the people of Inniset, I assume.
Yes,
From
from the,
Imsford.
Yes.
the entire
Yeah.
empire is tearing the country apart looking for her.
Yes, we lost a friend saving her from their tower.
If you wanted to protect her, would it not be safe to keep her in a place that most people don't even know quite exists?
Unfortunately, we could not. We tried this for a time, but Theo was without the gift.
So Theo
She
is from
summoned.
Mistkeep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we.
Did
Yeah.
we already know that?
Mm-hmm.
I knew that.
I forgot that.
It's cool.
She unintentionally summoned many foul things into being, and it ultimately became too dangerous to keep her here within the city. Obviously, it wasn't possible to keep her in Imsford either. And so, we thought it best to send her to the place of refuge that all tieflings seek.
So you know then.
At Zheles?
Where is she now?
The only option.
Well, she.
This happened
She-
many years
we-
ago.
She must be back on her way there.
Many years ago,
Many years ago. Theo
She
was
must have-
sent to Zheles.
we met her in the same place that I was telling you about last night. And that was only months ago.
Then it seems she must have had some reason for leaving, and no doubt
I'm-
Sylph was with her.
Oh, of leaving Zheles.
Yes.
I was afraid she might have been trapped there.
It's a complicated story. I don't expect you all to hang on every detail, but
Thanks,
Did
Alex.
Elwyn know of Theo?
Elwyn did not. By the time we suspected he might,
Who is Elwyn
Do
in this
something.
case? Sorry.
Oh no.
Rose, he was in the tower, had her captured. So it's like if he knew who she was,
How would she have been related to him?
I don't think she's related, but they're both from here. So
Oh,
Yeah.
I've missed that part too. All these names, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was explaining to Sam Theo's lineage of Eamos, who was a tiefling, who was the prophecy person,
Yeah.
and Laura. I just wrote down like a regular Laura. Is it really Laura?
Lura.
Okay, I was like, this is
Laura.
too white and basic. There's no way I'm spelling this right.
Laura.
Yeah. Oh, it's Laura. But I got a bunch of other weird stuff in here.
No way I'd ever use a simple name like that.
Ralph or Rolf.
Syphilis.
She
So,
says,
I mean, Theo is trying to. I mean, honestly, all of us are in a lot of ways, but well, most of us are. But Theo is also trying to end the war and bring forth a truth and understanding to what the prophecy is.
She kind of chuckles to herself for a moment. She is her father's daughter, after all. He would be proud to hear of this, and I'll have to share it with him when next we meet.
Is there a way for you to find her or get in contact with her?
Theo. No.
Theo.
I have no ties left with which to contact her. Even my own daughter was quick to suggest that we cut off communication for their safety and, of course, ours. We'd faced enough scrutiny as a people already. And so,
Ah, yes.
it's the way of things.
So,
Arsinoe, might I steal you for a second?
Yeah.
I need to speak to her aside from out of earshot of everyone else.
Okay. She allows for it. She doesn't really, like...
yeah, while they're talking, I have a question for what's her name, but I'll ask it after.
Yeah,
that.
I also want to just
Okay.
gently remind, like, could we summon your husband sometime soon and like pull my hands
Just-
out,
yeah.
surgery
she
style?
She calls out to the elf
timeline.
that she dismissed earlier and tells them to fetch Arbane. And so she goes.
But make sure we're
Um,
not forgetting this.
Yeah.
I'll step away with Sarnorn.
Yep.
You seem to be building a rapport with her, so that's why I chose you, but I don't know how to... I haven't been a doctor in a long time, so I don't really remember quite what it's like to talk to someone about a lost loved one, but we need to speak to her daughter. And
Cheryl.
I know she must be racked with grief over just having learned it. But
I imagine she just talked to her last night, though.
there has to be information, though, that she knows up until the point of her death about this whole thing that we're not
I agree.
seeing. So
I think so as well.
I didn't want to say it in front of her, but you know,
Cheryl's about to.
Show us your daughter.
Like you're talking about the sensitive subject, and Cheryl's just like.
Cheryl's over
asking
there
her.
about to ask about it. Yeah.
I do think you're right. I do also want to say I don't really know. I don't really know if the God that I feel so connected to is capable of communicating with your son. But if they're unable to, I'm open to trying.
well, that's very kind. But I lost my son and my wife, and so I'm going to be the one that gets them back. So this was just another bump in the road. That's all. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to quit.
No, I understand.
But I appreciate the sentiment.
So
We move on to stage B.
yeah, while they're doing that,
Classic Star Wars wipe shot.
Yes.
Meanwhile,
what was her name again? All these names start with L, and I'm getting very
I know, I'm getting very confused.
I know, I'm
with them,
sorry.
too.
fine.
Linda.
Sylph
Me.
does not start with an L, but
No,
yes.
no, the queen's name.
Oh,
Linda.
L and L.
L and L. Okay.
Just a bunch of L's.
You know what? We'll do it this way. Imagine.
L in L is what it is.
M and M.
L and
Hey,
L.
Alex, real quick, how much longer are we playing for?
Our usual 3 hours, probably till 10.
Okay, I was just wondering if I had time to go take the dogs out real quick, or if we're going to end
Okay.
soon.
Probably in like 45 minutes or so.
Okay. I'm going to go
Okay.
take them real quick.
Sounds good.
Get out of here.
Have fun.
I'll take my phone, so
Bye,
I'll text you if
Taffy.
anything happens.
Okay.
Yeah, run.
Okay.
Run. So, Your Majesty, this may be a very sensitive subject for you, and you, by all means, have every right to say no, and I mean no disrespect whatsoever, but when we talk to SF, would it be at all possible to talk to your daughter as well? Because she may have information that'll help us end this senseless war and hopefully make her sacrifice worth something more than it was.
By all means, I think that makes the most sense. I too am looking forward to speaking with her, of course, after all this time. I'm sure she'd grown so much, even in just the 30 years.
30, like 30?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! So that's how long. That
Oh my gosh.
Theo has been
Well, yeah, I mean,
born? Wow.
that's when all that happened. Well, I guess technically it would have been like 25 years or so. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, still, it's just whenever she said it had been a few years, I was thinking like,
Yeah, like, because, like,
Elves
Eamos and,
be
like,
old, bruh.
Yeah, elves live for a long time.
oh yeah, I guess so.
Morgan.
What'd she say?
Wait, Sam texted her that. He said, OMG, she just stabbed you, Morgan. She has Discord on and all that, too.
But yeah, that was it. The other question I had was for the timeline of like, are we gonna go get healed, then talk to dead people? Or are we gonna go talk to dead people? But you already said that you called her husband, so
Yeah, so he'll be coming up shortly.
He'll be coming around the mountain when he comes.
when she comes, yeah.
He'll be coming around the mist keep when he comes.
She does take a moment after thinking about, I guess, the silver lining of the news she's received about her daughter, that she'll now be able to speak with her on occasion. She looks over the lot of you with a grateful look in her eye until her gaze lands upon you, Sarnorin. She says,
Hello.
I find it odd that I mean no disrespect, I've heard from nearly everyone here, but are you of the same mind? Have you come here seeking the same...
Well, you seem to kind of answer that question before I had the chance to ask, so... Yeah, I lost a lot of people very close to me. And, I mean no disrespect to people who are the gatekeepers of death, but I mean to undo it.
And have you had any success in this endeavor?
None that's worth mentioning.
Where are you from?
I'm rather old. I'm from a place long lost to time and history, a small island nation of the southern coast, known as Vithnica.
Vithnica.
Have you heard it?
I have. It seems we share a common age. I too am getting late in my years.
About to get
But it
laid
has
in her
been-
years.
It has been. God damn it.
Samuel!
Way to ruin the moment,
Not
dude.
muted!
I thought we were muted.
Oh man.
My bad. Continue, Mom.
Dude, you're so red right now!
Bryn says that right as her husband walks in.
Is that it?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry.
Right as he says that.
Andrew was gonna say, mind your thoughts.
Mind your thoughts. My bad.
No.
I'm gonna mute us now.
I wasn't intimately familiar with the people of Vithnica, but... Shut up, Sam. But I am familiar with their advancements. They were quite a civilization, and I often wondered whatever happened to them.
I'm the last one. They're all gone.
I am so sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So I came here like I've been everywhere else I've ended up, searching for anything.
You know, our own history tells us that many of the elven clans that exist now were once part of a larger whole, and Vithnica itself being so close to us, I wonder if we may be related down the line.
I mean, the years definitely.
It is a dead giveaway, isn't
Yeah.
it?
I thought so as much, but consider an old fool a little scared to wander into that territory as well.
You say you've not had much success with
Sorry, guys.
bringing your loved ones back to life, which would be a feat in and of itself. But I do wonder if there have been any indications of perhaps you having some form of the gift that our people possess.
Well, if you mean to ask, I can raise something from the dead. But I wouldn't necessarily call it a person. It's more of
It is-
like a body, a shell for my will.
It is more than most can accomplish, though a bit crude in nature.
True.
I suppose it's a starting point. And as she kind of mulls this over a bit uncomfortably, Arbane does make his way into the room. He's a tall elven man with the same flowing robes that you've grown accustomed to seeing, but his in particular are more of a coat. As he makes his way towards Cheryl and Arsinoe, he instantly knows who it is that he needs to tend to based on the discoloration and shrinking of your flesh.
The smell.
Y'all are wet.
Oh God.
He instantly, without even addressing his beloved,
Oh.
approaches both of you, begins inspecting you, and appears quite interested in the ailment that you now possess.
Please tell me you've seen this before.
Never have I seen this. And he's like excited.
That's what you want
about
from your
it.
doctor, right?
Yeah. Wow,
you're
this
the
is
first.
new.
Well,
Where?
sir, I'm quite
New
skilled
disease
at
type just dropped.
healing, and even I could do nothing of this ailment. So I'm hoping that you could help us.
If you would, yes, I'll give it my best.
Touches
And
your
he-
face.
He holds both his hands out and begins to not touch your face, but like hold them just an inch away. And as he passes his hands over, a glowing light is emanating from them. That light cascades onto your face, and as it does, your face begins to glow as well. The light almost blinds your own eyes, and so you close them. And in that darkness, you're able to feel your skin loosening back up and falling back into place.
Ain't nothing like some loose skin, baby.
And as
Golden faced.
As he lowers his hands, he says, "And how do you feel?"
Much better. The tightness is gone from my face. The skin is back to its normal state. It feels.
And the discoloration as well. Where, may I ask, did you contract this? Where did you find this?
From a terrible
It's fish cancer.
being.
Yeah, from a being that we met in Verderim. I either regret or am pleased to tell you, though, that it is no longer there.
You
I
mean-
either regret or pleased.
One of the two.
That's hilarious.
You mean Mount Vernon?
Yes.
Yes.
I see. It's no wonder there's something so mysterious there. No one I've ever known has traveled there and made it back. I'm sure you have many stories to tell. Where are my manners? Give me your hands, please.
Oh, thank you.
Give me your hands.
And he passes his hands along yours. Once more, the glow moving from his magic into your ailment and curing it.
Oh, I'm gonna make a proper fist. It feels so good. Gross.
After
Starts that thing with like her arm. Loose skin.
after making sure that you're feeling all right, he turns to Elenil and he says, "Is there anything else I can do for you, my love?" She says, "Not now, Arbane. Thank you. You, please go back about your business. I understand you're quite busy."
Thank you.
And
Thank
he
you so much.
Thank
walks
you.
back off. You see a look of regret across.
Yeah, once he
Elenil's
leaves,
face.
I'm gonna look at Eleanor and say, would he not have wanted to join us?
Ooh.
He would have, but I'm afraid with everything moving so quickly,
He doesn't know yet.
I've not had the time to tell him.
There.
I'd much rather do this when there are less pressing matters to tend to give him the proper time to grieve as I had.
That's completely understandable.
An evening is not the proper time to grieve. Said out of character as a therapist.
Yeah.
That's all you need when you're an elf.
Nope.
You only need 4 hours of sleep. You only need 1 day of grief.
Boom.
So Becca, I'll tell you this outside of character, outside of DM mode. I feel like these particular elves probably see death a bit differently than we do as a species.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
That's true.
Becca,
They can't
Don't
just go
take
hang
more
out.
Than, take
Yeah,
more
get
than
your
a day
shit
to
outta
grieve,
here.
I promise.
Get your
I just-
shit out of here.
I want to explain. I just wanted to explain that. I hadn't done that not on purpose.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
I was just joking.
No, I know.
But also to the audience.
Yeah,
You're allowed to experience grief.
Take the time to grieve and be sad.
The more you know.
Sorry, I've been quiet, guys. When I just went to take the dogs out, a stuffed animal fell on my foot and freaked me out. So I've been
Outside?
checking. Yeah, so I've been checking our
What?
cameras to see what it was. It was our freaking neighbor's little 2-year-old. She ran through the yard and was running away. So I sent it to her and was like, "Is this your stuffed animal?" And she's like, "Oh my god, yeah, we lost Lottie today." I'm like, bruh, she was at my house.
That would have freaked me out too.
I texted Brent and he was already outside with his gun.
Oh god.
I was like, "Did you put this on my doorstep?" He's like, "I didn't put that on your doorstep."
Hey neighbor, there's a stuffed animal on our porch.
Dude, I mean,
Again.
I was like, who put this here? It freaked me out.
Oh my god.
Oh, so that's why I was really quiet. I'm sorry.
So she, after composing herself, looks to all of you and says, "If you're ready and if you have no further questions for me, I am eager to see my daughter again."
I think we're ready.
Very well. Let
As
us
a
be off.
group, though, outside of that, we have not talked about what questions we're going to ask if we get a chance to, talk. We don't know. Arsino doesn't know what to say.
I don't know what to say.
So, okay.
We'll figure it out.
Cool.
We'll figure it out.
Charles, as he gets information, he's just like,
All right. Let's go talk to some people.
Ren, as you begin to stand up to leave the throne room, you trail behind the rest of the group, unintentionally, of course. And as you do, the light cascading through the windows and the mist that wisps across the sky outside form a peculiar shadow on the ground.
It's a penis.
I'm already crying.
Do you want me to say this in front of the group, or you want me to text you?
Text me.
Yeah, take the text. That didn't do anything.
Yeah, you didn't cover my mic. She just covered her mic and then screamed.
Yeah, we just heard you scream. Bloody
Yeah.
murder.
Oh man.
Whoa, dude.
I had to flip over all my devices.
I'm not gonna look. I want you to be able to get it right away. Stop. You're fine.
Yeah, I
She
believe
says
you.
to herself, she's trying to convince herself.
Yeah, she's trying to convince herself, not me.
That's cool. I have to erase and respell Laura anyway.
After seeing what you see, you, I'd imagine, continue following the rest of the group.
Or you don't. Because you're about to go crazy.
on a mission.
Yep.
Okay. You follow Elenil back down the large staircase into the city proper once again. Your feet fall upon the familiar soggy ground that you tread only last night as you try to find the slivers of sunlight that manage to poke through the dense fog. You follow closely behind Elenil, hoping not to lose sight of her as you did the night before with the elf that you were following. And after only 30 minutes or so of foot travel, she pauses and turns to all of you. We're now entering the thickest part of the mist. If there ever was a time for you to contain your thoughts, it is now.
Is this a safe place for me to use... for us to use magic?
I don't imagine that you would need it, but should that occur, should something occur, yes.
We are in a swamp. Would it be advisable for me to make it easier for all of us to walk across the terrain?
Sure.
I
see why
cast
not.
water walk.
All right.
Okay, I do that. And I'll
Put it on LNL too.
Yeah, I can pick 10 creatures. So
Okay. As you all approach what is the densest part of the mist, you notice that it's almost like the eye of a storm. You cross through a threshold where the mist just stops. If you've ever heard the phrase that it's so thick you could cut it with a knife, it looks very much like someone has done this in a circle. Looking out before you, you see mostly water and a peculiar fountain atop an altar, nestled beneath two large trees. The fountain itself has a crescent moon shaped, just floating in midair, and from the center of it flows water from a source that you can't discern into a pool below. The water seems to glow with life, changing colors every now and then. She approaches the altar. Closes her eyes and begins to focus. And as she does this, you see the water from the pool begin to coalesce. Some of the mist from the outer wall joins in as well. And as it begins to take the shape of a person, it collapses back into the pool. She opens her eyes, looks a bit panicked, and tries again. The same result. Looking more disheveled even than when she'd learned of her daughter's passing, she turns to all of you and she says, "Are you sure? You're sure that Sylph is gone?"
Her soul may not be on this plane. You see, where we came from was not exactly here.
Like I said, it was much more nightmarish than anything.
didn't
It
feel
was. It actually, Alex, we believe that it wasn't on this plane, right? Like we believe it was.
Correct.
Theo
Okay.
also doesn't remember anything from there. Is it possible that it was some kind of alternate world?
At this
That this
point,
wasn't your daughter?
I have no idea.
Is there a way to communicate across planes? I guess.
That should not matter. Where souls go when they die is usually to some other plane of existence, and that's where we typically call them from.
It might be trapped.
That's my fear. Is that Theo knew that area well, and actually when we first met Theo, they were a different version of themselves than what we had to experience later. Once we made our way out, they couldn't remember anything.
I shudder to think what might have happened to her.
I fear they may not have made it to Zheles ever. I don't really know, but they could have been trapped there.
I suppose it's possible.
Do the dead know of the happenings in our realm? When you ask them, do they have any kind of knowledge of what's happened now because
The dead know.
our sins are passing.
The dead know what they knew in life, and then what we tell them afterwards.
So it's not possible that if we were to communicate with Eamos, that they would be able to know if Sylph is where they are?
I'm afraid not. I mean, possibly he would know if Sylph is there with him, but I'll try.
What is it you're doing when you're trying to contact her? What are you doing?
Well, it's important to focus your mind on I find it helpful to think about the connection you have with that person. Any interactions you've had, any emotions you feel. The physical form is important, yes. I try to recall that as well, but the spirit, the soul, is most important. And that
And it
comes
only-
from your memory.
It only works here, or it works elsewhere in the city?
It's most potent here.
This this eye is connected to the goddess Iramor. I wonder if we who saw Sylph could help connect to at least the confusion that we know they were experiencing.
Make an intelligence saving throw.
Oh, okay.
Should have used a real dice.
Oh, yeah, shut up. That is an 8.
We still have a 7 in the chat.
Wouldn't help
It
that
would
much.
make it a 9.
You see some of the mist and the outer walls begin to gather, and before you can finish your sentence, she puts her hand over your mouth, and you see the mist flowing back down. Careful what you think about. What you imagine.
I am thinking about
Unicorns.
meditating on
Unicorns.
wisteria
You
right
should be
now.
thinking about how elephants' knees bend
I am
backwards.
thinking about the flower, the wisteria flower. That is it at this moment.
I am no expert on the gods or goddesses. I have not heard of the goddess Iramor. But as I understand it, when gods vanish, they do just that. They are not dead, they are not alive, they cease to exist. For they exist based on the predicated needs of our own belief in them. So I'm afraid that may not be possible.
So,
At least I would not advise attempting it.
so then we have far more questions than
Can you try to summon her again?
what we can do here, because Sylph's
Summon-
soul may not be completely gone.
Your daughter.
I
Or
can.
Theo's father.
I'll try to bring forth Sylph once more. She turns back to the fountain, enters that same meditative mindset, and you see the same result play out before you over again. I'll try to contact Iamos. Maybe there's something I'm doing wrong. She turns, riddled with self-doubt, or what she hopes to be her own shortcomings.
Cheryl's gonna walk up behind her and cast guidance on her, just cause.
Okay. As she focuses this time, you see the pool begin to take shape into a taller form this
Lucy, what are you doing?
time. One with two horns that curl up and run backwards. As it completes its shape, you see standing before you a tiefling male whose skin is red in color. Several tattoos mark his arms. He wears simple clothes, and as he opens his eyes, you notice a particular fiery amber color that's quite striking. On anyone else, they would feel imposing, but the shape of his face feels gentle, and so his eyes feel warm to you. He says, Elenil, it is good to see you. Iamos, I'm sorry to call you here for something such as this, but I've received word that Sylph is no longer with us. Thiel is safe, but I've been unable to bring Sylph back. I need to know, have you seen her on your side? Is she with you? She begins to panic a bit, and you see her eyes shed a single tear. Iamos approaches her and puts his hand to her cheek. He says, Elenil, I've never seen you so distraught. Surely you know that Sylph would not have fallen in such a way that would not allow you to contact her. I'm sure there's some mistake, but no, I have not seen her. She kind of nods and takes a moment to herself as Iamos looks out upon all of you. He says, and who are you all?
We saved your daughter from the Inniset Tower, and thereafter was told to seek the truth of this prophecy and what's going on with Zheles and all this senseless violence, and we just are hoping that you can help shed some kind of light and give us some clarity and direction on all of this.
All this talk of prophecy. The truth is light. That's what I preached for all those years. And still I believe it. The
You
prophecy,
said light? Like light, not life?
the prophecy tells of a world eater. I say no. Fate is what we make of it. If the world is to be eaten, let us be together at the end. Why bicker amongst ourselves if it is truly so inevitable?
I don't really believe people are bickering. I think people are fighting and murdering each other.
They are. But how best do you think to stop these things? To stop the murdering and fighting?
To find the truth of the World Eater and stop it.
No. With peace. With unrequited love.
With
What-
all due respect, we've heard of the history of the last time something of that nature happened, and it was stopped not with peace, but with
violence.
But was not progress made? Not the same?
I don't really believe there's been much progress if the nations are still fighting and if one nation is still holding those who look like you down.
You are here, are you not? And in a place that, at one time, also believed in such hateful misgivings. He looked to Ilinel and says, "There was a time where I was a stranger here. But Laura and Ilinel opened their hearts to me. And so, now this place is saved. Saved from the bloodshed, saved from the torment. My hope is that they will pay this kindness forward, and in time, all will be saved." You may think me naive, but I remind you, there was a long time before I met my end, where my teachings were accepted as truth for many. Would you not say this is victory in some small way?
Well, it seems that for almost as many as it was true for, it's now the opposite. And I guess, is there any way that you could help us understand how that might have happened? Who is at the crux of all of this, I guess?
I wonder as well. Do I blame the sword that cut me down? Do I blame the man who wielded it? Do I blame the teachings that taught the man that he would save so many by striking me down? Where does it end? Is it not better to simply forgive?
If we know where it began, not necessarily with violence, but we could stop it. We could convince this man of his wrongdoings, and if he could easily sway everyone away from this peace that you say the world experienced, maybe he can sway it back.
You're looking for answers I do not have, for answers that I don't think exist. It does not matter where this all came from. What matters is where it's going.
So annoying.
Out of character here. I mean, Eamos was
No, we get
as
it.
a prophet because like he basically
very calm.
He flipped the prophecy on its head and just preached love, and that's
Yeah,
a lot of
no,
people
that makes sense.
followed him. They latched on to hope, you know.
Yes.
What caused the man who killed you to kill you? What pushed him over the edge to make you such a threat? If your message was peace and harmony and love, why are you talking to us like this rather than in person?
It was misunderstanding. He believed himself a hero. He thought I was uniting those under a common banner to oppose his own cause,
Which was?
to spread peace. But in his mind, perhaps
With the end of a sword.
As you put it. I pity him, and those who feel the same. They've not opened up their hearts. If I could do it all over, I'd do it the same. Any shot at giving this man true peace is all I would have ever wanted. It's all I wish for him still.
Well, so real quick, do we know that it's the King of Inniset who
Yeah.
did that? Okay. Well, we
Yeah, that's what
ironically
Cena said.
have plans to meet this man again in a few days, a little over a week. Is there any advice you can give us?
Don't do it.
We hope to sway his mind and convince him of his wrongdoings and how he's fighting the wrong side.
I find that often the best course of action. Oops, slipping into dwarven accent there. Often I find the best course of action is to meet them halfway. Understand that it takes time to accept a new truth. Especially when it comes from someone you view as an enemy.
We're definitely an enemy right now.
The world has an interesting way of bringing about change. Forces that seemingly drive apart sometimes can push together. Take my own people in Zheles, for example. Do you think they would have followed a foolish man like me had they not been devoid of all hope?
Thank you for sharing your message with us, Amos.
Of course, I'm always happy to have those who would listen. I'd imagine that, although you may not recall them now, there are many that you've come in contact with on your journey that share the same views I once taught. There is still hope. There's more hope now than ever.
And how do you know who we've come in contact on our journey?
As I said, I'd imagine.
I want to insight check that.
Inside check. Oh no!
I think it's more of a metaphor, guys. I don't think he's being that serious.
They're gonna figure it out anyway.
Yeah.
You're a metaphor.
15.
Yeah, he's not watching you or anything.
I always feel
Why'd you say it like that?
Somebody's watching me.
Yeah, he doesn't know who you've come into contact with.
He's
He
not
just-
watching you.
Yeah, he's not watching you.
Somebody's
he knew he
crying.
had a large number of followers, even people that hid their true beliefs, and
right now.
he'd imagine that they're still.
Somebody has to be crying right now.
We can hear you.
Fuck.
Why do you think
So
that?
he'd imagine that you'd at least run into some that sympathized with his teachings.
I like watching Becca on mute.
Sam asked the same thing. I said because people have been scrying on us, there's no way they knew exactly where we're going, exactly what we were trying to figure out, all that kind of stuff. Because we haven't
In all
been.
fairness, we haven't seen any other Luxodons in our travels.
Also true, but
and I haven't been using the hat very much.
I mean, like the fact that
Hey, you guys seen an
homegirl
elephant?
made it
It's
to
like, yeah, you went that
Mount
way. Okay,
Burnram
cool.
before us, like
We had passed out for a month.
okay.
We were in that.
Yes, I understand, but she knew where to go, is what I'm saying.
Well, because they passed through the dwarf town, and the dwarf town was like, yeah, they went that way.
Yes, yeah. Obviously, there are a bunch of things happening, but I firmly believe that we are being scryed on, and now I'm freaking out that people are probably watching us right now, and
Your paranoia knows no end.
Yeah.
it doesn't, because now people know about Mesquite people again. We're
Cheryl's
ruining
also-
everyone's life.
Cheryl's also worried about that, which
Yeah,
is
you
why
can't
he
live
was
like that.
happy about what was going on with her.
Well, and now that
Fair
we've
enough.
decided that
Fuck.
we're ruining everyone's life, Alex is gonna fucking end it here.
I might as well keep ruining people's lives.
Alex, I do have a question before we super duper end it.
Okay.
But if we need to wrap up the conversation of EMOS, that's cool too.
Eamos sort of leaves you with that last bit of sentimental knowledge about, how
Sam, you
you've
got me.
probably crossed
And I got
people that follow his teaching still, and that obviously you being there talking to him is also a sign of how things are changing for the better. He turns to Ilanil and puts a hand on her shoulder. He says, "Rest assured, if I hear or see anything involving Sylph, I will let you know. Until we speak again, sister." And she bows her head to him. He walks back to the pool of water and sprays out into the pool.
Tight.
And that is where we will end our session tonight. Way to go,
Becca, do you
everybody.
have a question to ask before we
I
end it?
do.
Yeah.
I do. Alex, I was looking at my older notes and I'm still trying to figure out if any, every time I hear something about a tower, I'm trying to make sure this isn't part of that vision I had of a tower in flames a long time ago.
Oh, I remember that vision.
Okay.
It's a good
yes.
vision.
Thank you. I enjoyed having that vision. And I also have another thing that another vision that the only thing I could see was a tall, slender tower that was white.
Yeah, so the tall, slender tower that was white, for sure was Inaset. The tower on fire, or looked as if it was on fire, also looked like Inaset Tower.
Okay.
Kind of like the same description you got, whenever the sun was rising and the way it hit the tower, it looked like it was on fire.
That's cool. I just wanted to make sure that none of them resembled what we were seeing right now.
No.
So I'm about to be like, somebody's gonna set your tower on fire. It's not me.
By the way,
Shit about to
I need
burn
to let you
up.
know.
Yeah. I just saw it in a vision. It's
I'm gonna
not
let you
me.
finish, but somebody's about to light your tower on fire.
I want to crank up the humidity in this. Oh, right.
Ooh.
It's already
So,
very humid.
for all the people watching on YouTube in the future, hello, future people. We are past people. We appreciate you. We hope your life is
At
great.
3 p.m. today, the coffee will be
comment,
poisoned.
please.
Do not drink the coffee.
We have time traveled. We are in the future.
If you are enjoying your future self, watching our videos on YouTube, please leave a like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get notified when we post new content every single weekday, as long as I am not super busy and unable to upload.
And in
as I
that
have been.
case,
Please don't.
We
I'm telling
might
on
play the
myself.
Wendy's campaign. Who knows?
Yeah, it happens.
happens. Also,
if
Alex,
you
I'm pretty
want
sure your
more-
phone is what was causing the static.
Yeah, it seems like it.
I think it's probably from the M cell that my parents use.
Yeah. If you guys want even more awesome chaotic content, I think we mentioned earlier we do have our Discord channel. You can hop in there. We will be posting the awesome Cinco Mayo poster.
Yeah.
that
Courtesy
Morgan's
of
dad
Peter.
drew.
Which is when we
Peter Guidry.
we
Good
did
guy.
this live on Twitch, which you can watch us on
Yeah, so
every Wednesday.
come find us every Wednesday for D&D because sometimes it's Dungeons and Dads. We've had 2 occurrences of our fathers showing up on Twitch, so
Yep. We like
who
we
knows
like
how
the
many
old,
more.
The good news is you'll never meet mine.
Same.
We like the old lineage plot twist.
Yeah.
You never know. But with that said, everybody, thank you for watching, and until next time, go out there and make some chaos.
Yeah.
Bye.